Remember, what are similar figures? Good, not similar in size. They're similar in shape, how they look, but they're different sizes. Okay, so same shape, different sizes. Okay, hi, do I need to take your phones? Okay, you want to play your games later? Thank you. Okay, same shapes, different sizes. And we know that the proportional, or the sides are proportional. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, side lengths are proportional. All right, so this goes back to Chapter 7. So those of you that were with me, Chapter 7, you can look back to your Chapter 7 notes. If you were not with me, and if you have Chapter 7 notes, you can look back. If you don't, that's okay. We'll flip back together. Okay, remember for similar figures, what we would always look at is we wanted the sides to be equal to each other. So we did x over 10 equals 9 over 6. Or we double-checked that all our sides were the same. There wasn't really a better example I was trying to find. I don't know. We looked at the sides like AB over AE was the same as AC over AD. So that's what we're talking about when we say proportions, is we're really looking at equal fractions. Okay, so before, we're going to do a before and a now. Before, we would compare the side of one shape, and we would compare it to the side of the second shape, side 2. And we would say that's equal to, and then if we picked another side, but that side had to come from the shape 1, and then another side from shape 2. So these two on the top would come from the same shape, and then these two on the bottom would come from the same shape. No, I'm using orange and blue, sorry. All right, what we're doing now, though, is we're still going to compare one side to another side. So side 1, and we're going to compare it to side 2. But now we're doing it with areas. So we're going to compare it to the area of 1 compared to the area of 2. But with sides, we can't just compare straight across to areas. It won't work that way because sides match with sides. So with sides to areas, we're going to take our sides and we're actually going to put those in parentheses, that whatever that fraction is. And we're going to take it to the power of 2 because it's an area. An area is talking about squares. Okay, but again, these top parts have to go, so this side has to match with this area. These have to come from the same shape, and then the bottoms have to come from the same shape. All right, you're going to get one glue in here. You can glue it in on the left or the right side, your choice. Some of them have a weird line on the top. It's just the way the printer is printing it lately. Are you going to do notes today or no? Yeah. All right, so go ahead and get this glued in, either on the left or the right side.
I gave it to my next time I got it back.
I did it. Alright, so go ahead and get this glued in, and then we do have 2 examples that we're working with today, and then just some short practice, and then that's it for chapter 11. How exciting. Hey kiddo, how are you? Alright, so as we take a look at this first one, our goal is we have these sides that are going to match. Remember, DC is kind of our shorter side. So what side would that go with over here, PS or RS? Yeah, it's a shorter side, so it's actually going to go with RS. It's like this rectangle that like turned, and then it got bigger. Okay, but I do know that our area, we have X for this one, and our area over here is 108. So our goal is always going to be to find X today, or the missing amount. Good morning. Here you go, Rama. Or not Rama, sorry, Hafsa. Why did I call you Rama? I was just creating somebody else's work, and I just, my brain. Alright, so as we take a look at this, when we do this, we are writing a proportion. So we're going to have a fraction equal to a fraction. Okay, and we always have our sides on one side. And the one with our sides is going to have the parentheses squared, and the other side is going to be our areas. Now, depending on who your teacher was prior to this trimester, you might be taught different things. The way that I like to do these, the easiest way for me, is always making sure X is on the top. So on this problem, where is my X? Is it on the sides or the areas? Good, it's the areas. So I'm going to put X on top over here. What's the other area I'm going to compare X to? The area. 108, yeah. Okay, so then when I go over here for my sides, I need it to match across though. So with X here, what side would go in the numerator with X? Is it going to go with the 6 or the 9? What side goes with that area X? 6, yeah. So if you even want to like highlight this, you could. So these ones go together. It has to be blue across. So this is going to be 6. There you go. Okay. Hi. Hey, you guys are in the middle of a lesson. Can you not come in and just disrupt? Thanks. Okay, so then what goes with the 108, the area? 9. Hey, gentlemen. Okay, so that's going to be the biggest thing is making sure that our variable gets put usually in the numerator if you want it to be easier to solve. And then double checking that things match across. Okay, and then our goal is to get X by itself. So to undo dividing by 108, what are we going to do? Multiply by 108. Now, if you do this a different way, that's okay. We're going to get the same answer. Some people, they would like to do the squared. They would do 6 squared and 9 squared and then do the cross product. Okay, that works too. I just like to do it in the fastest way possible because, I don't know, I don't want to do my whole life doing math. Okay, so, you guys go. Shh. All right, so in my calculator, I'm going to put in parentheses 6 over 9. Hey, you guys. Okay, so parentheses, and then squared. Like that so far. And then I'm just doing times 108. So times 108. I'm putting in that whole thing into my calculator. Today your hint is that you should get a whole number. Okay, so 48 is our answer. And is this an area or a side? X was area, so it's going to be 48 square inches. You guys are being so weird with those calculators in your phones. All right, so now we have one more. Okay, so again, we have our sides on one side and our areas on the other. For our sides, we do parentheses to the power of 2. So I always like to set this up personally before I actually start putting in numbers. Some people are really good at this, and they can just look at those numbers and just plug in right away. I like to have my template of how am I going to plug these things in. Okay, I always want my x to be in the numerator. So as I look at my x, is my x going to go on the top of the sides or x in the top of the areas? What is x representing this time? A side, yeah. Last time the x was an area, this time it's a side. So what area goes with x? 50. So x and 50 go together. They're going to go across from each other. Okay, what's going to go under x? Good. How did you know it's going to be 14 and not 98? Good. It's in the same place if they're proportional sides. So 14. And then what's the area that goes with 14? 98. This one's going to take a little longer to solve because that x isn't just by itself. Where before, well, the x wasn't by itself, but the x just had the 108. This time the x has a 14, but what else is surrounding that x? Yeah, the little squared button, the squared there. I don't know why I said button. That was weird. What the heck, Miss Morrell? All right, so to solve this, it's going to be a little bit different. First thing that we're going to get rid of is we need to get rid of the grouping symbols, these parentheses. We got to get inside like that shell. So I have to get rid of this squared. What is the opposite or the inverse of a squared? Square root. Nice. So I'm going to square root one side, and if I do it to one side, we do it to the other side. So then I get x over 14 equals. Now that one, I don't know the square root of 50 or the square root of 98, so I like to just use my calculator. If you wanted to, you could simplify this and then do square roots of top and bottom. But again, I just don't want to spend my whole life doing math, so I just do it in my calculator. It's going to give me this decimal. I don't want to round. So rather than using a decimal, I'm going to hit this little circle with the 2 boxes and make it a fraction. And it's 5 over 7. That makes it a nice, easy fraction to work with. Some of you might be able to even look at this and realize, okay, we're making equivalent fractions. So 7 goes to 14. 5 is going to be cool. Or we don't know equivalent fractions and we just keep solving it. So how do I get rid of a dividing by 14? We would multiply both sides by 14. So I'm going to take my answer times 14. And the answer is 10. And what are we measuring in this time? 10 what? Is it area or a side? Well, look at what X was representing in the picture. A side, so just inches. Last time it was area, so we did the square inches. This time it's just a side, so just inches. Okay, so the biggest thing today is going to be setting this up. Once you have it set up correctly, you do need to use kind of a whiteboard to show your work if you would like that. Okay, on the practice today, it's just going to have this first part and this last part. This middle in between, you have to use a whiteboard to show your work if that's going to help you. All right, rest of the time is for practice. I did update grades yesterday. Test is on Monday.